Underrail review in 2026, my fair review. I decided to play Underrail after nearly 10 years of hearing about it. I've played pretty much every CRPG released in the last 40 years, from Fallout and Icewind Dale all the way to modern giants like Pathfinder, Breath of the Righteous, but somehow I never touched Underrail. It always went under my radar. For years people told me it's insanely hard, it's brutal, it's one of the best indie CRPGs ever made, so I finally gave it a shot, and when I give a shot, I usually finish. Nearly a month later, after 180 plus hours, here is my full review of Underrail in 2026, including both of its DLCs, Underrail Expedition, The Black Sea, and Underrail Heavy Duty. Let's break it down. Let's go. Story. The writing in Underrail is above mediocre and sometimes even excellent, but it lacks big, epic moments. The game doesn't fully explain why the world is the way it is, why humanity lives underground, the bigger cosmic stakes. You start as an agent, you follow orders, you complete missions, eventually one mission to the next, and the story unfolds into the classic defeat the big threat structure, and it ends on a major cliffhanger, clearly setting everything up for Underrail 2. The main plot is very strong, some side quests sub-mediocre, clearly there to justify combat. What the game does extremely well is tone. It's dark, oppressive, and brutal. The best way I can describe this entire game is if you take Diablo 1, mix it with Fallout 1, and you have Underrail. It's old school, gritty, and unapologetic. Final score for the story would be 7 out of 10. Game bugs and optimization. I don't know how this game was 10 years ago, but in 2026 it runs flawlessly. Extremely fast loading times, no crashes, no bugs, runs on a toaster, smooth experience from start to finish. This is a masterclass in optimization. For an indie CRPG of this scale, performance is absolutely unbelievable. Pure 10 out of 10. Game time. My total play time would be 185 hours, realistically 160 hours without idle time, 130 hours of actual blind run content. That's including both DLCs and finishing everything there is in a game. If I replay the game again, knowing everything, I'll probably finish in 60 or 70 hours. Replay value is insane, by the way. You can go with different builds, different factions, different routes, different roleplay approaches. This is one of the longest CRPGs ever made, and definitely one of the longest indie CRPGs, if not the longest. Massive value for your money. 10 out of 10 for game time. Game difficulty. I played on dominating difficulty, blind. Everyone told me it was impossible, that it would crush me. And reality, the first 4 hours were brutal, until I got used to the game. And once I understood build direction, early XP routes, fight and positioning, stealth usage and trap placement, the game became manageable. More than manageable, it became a cakewalk. Underrail is not about reflexes, it's about knowledge. The overall knowledge, not only in this game, but basically in all CRPGs combined. And my knowledge is quite extreme. If you try to right click through everything, you're gonna die in Underrail. If you think, plan, and know how to position, you will win. The only truly massive difficulty spike is the final boss, especially if you don't weaken him. Then this game becomes extremely hard. And I did that thing as well. So is the game hard? Yes it is, but there are easier difficulties. Is it the impossible monster like most of the people claimed it to be? No, it's not. It's not as punishing as Breath of the Righteous, but it's absolutely one of the harder CRPGs ever made. 10 out of 10 for game difficulty. Maps and graphics. Now let's be honest, this is an indie game. The graphics are functional, clear, readable, but they won't attract casual players. Are they outdated? No. Isometric games, they age well, they can never be outdated. But there are better looking CRPGs. However, the map design is brilliant. Interconnected zones, smart shortcuts, lower underrail, upper underrail, caves, metro travel, jet ski exploration in the Black Sea, you name it, it's there. You can feel the amount of work put into the world connectivity. User interface is also excellent, especially for such a complex system-heavy game. Graphics hold the score slightly here, 8 out of 10 for maps and graphics. Gameplay. This is where Underrail shines. Unlike most old-school CRPGs where you talk 80% of time and fight 20%, Underrail flips that completely. Underrail is 30% combat, 50% exploration and going into the unknown, discovering everything, which is definitely the most fun part of the game, and only 20% dialogue. This is an action-heavy turn-based CRPG. You can play as melee, play as ranged, use psionics, go stealth, hack, lockpit, pickpocket, craft, ambush, trap, everything is viable in this game. The gameplay loop is addictive. Positioning matters, preparation matters even more. Animations aren't flashy, graphics aren't modern, but mechanically it's deep and it's very satisfying. 9 out of 10 for the gameplay. Leveling and itemization. This is where I have mixed feelings. You can choose the classic XP gain with kills, traps, quests and so on, or the oddity system XP gain, collect special items to level up. Early game progression is fantastic, it's balanced extremely well, but once you hit the maximum level, enemies don't scale, you start stomping content until the final boss. The biggest design choice in this game that crafting is a king. The best gear in the game, crafted gear. You don't find legendary loot that changes your build, you find components. The crafting system is phenomenal, one of the best ever made, but I personally would have liked more unique loot drops. What can I say, I just like to find items on the ground and pick them up instead of crafting them. This game is the complete opposite. And then there's the main enemy in the game, worse than any difficulty that exists. It's called encumbrance. You are constantly overburdened, constant backtracking, constant walking and dragging back to your main stash, so you dump all of the things that you found in a game. Inventory management eats hours and hours of game time. Leveling depth is incredible, feat variety is massive, build diversity is huge. Encumbrance and loot philosophy prevents a perfect score, so I can't give it 10 out of 10. This is 9 out of 10. Npcs and Enemies. NPCs are the weakest part. They're not memorable, factions are memorable though. Faceless, Ironheads, Shortists and many others. But individual characters, very forgettable. Except for one. The dude. Enemy variety is very solid. Human builds mirror all the player builds. Wildlife, hounds, burrowers, insect stalkers, and so on. Multiple tiers per enemy type in this game. To put it short, if we have red hounds, we got mini red hounds, alpha red hounds, and ancient red hounds. Now apply that for each type of monster. Mini version, mid version, big version. That's the enemy variety in a game basically. AI is impressive. Disarms traps, avoids traps, positions intelligently. Especially on Dominating. AI feels smart and very reactive. Still, for a game this large, enemy variety could have been even bigger. 8 out of 10 for NPCs and Enemies. Last section, music and sound. No voice acting. In a CRPG, voice acting adds to the immersion. Here, it's absent. Sound effects are strong, music is atmospheric, but it's not memorable. Not a single track stuck with me. Atmosphere is there, memorability, no. And I get it, for voice acting it costs. This is an indie game, and that's why I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10, even though I usually give even lower score when there is no voice acting. Final verdict. We have 9 sections with 77 points, and that would be 8.6 out of 10 for Underrail in 2026. I played this game for nearly a month. I had a lot of fun, it's challenging, it's unique, it's extremely deep. And here's the most important part. This game was largely made by one person only. Knowing that, this is easily a 9.5 out of 10 in terms of ambition and execution. Underrail is now officially in my top 10 CRPGs of all time. It's one of the best indie CRPGs ever made, if not the best. It's not as impossibly hard as people claim it to be, but it's brutal, demanding, and deeply rewarding. And now I cannot wait for Underrail 2, and I hope it's gonna come out soon enough. Should you play Underrail 1? Yes, you should. It's worth every single second.